everybody! Today's gonna be a little different episode than usual, something unique. Well, let's do our painting first, and then I'll get into the explaining and the details later. I think we're gonna start off with like a big brush today, about an inch. Why not have a violet sky today? Let's do something a little different than usual. Oh, and I forgot to mention we have our canvas ready, pre-stretched, and it's got some liquid white on it already. That's just the white mixed with a little paint thinner. Got it scattered on the board. Now, what we're going to do is some little X's. That's the perfect way to get a sky, okay? Look how beautifully it goes on to the canvas. Nice gentle strokes. You gotta just put that all on there. Don't worry about any mistakes you make, because there's no such thing as a mistake. Just happy little accidents. Paige, you're walking on camera. Oh no. Now let's just go ahead and do some strokes across to cancel out any brush marks that you have left over. Nice, nice. Very nice. Now, let me show you my little friend here. His name is Pipsqueak Jr. the second. He's really cute. My wife and I are fostering him in our home along with 5 other little guys. He's a little orphan. We're just taking care of him. By the time you see this, he'll probably be off in the wild, skippering around with his little friends. But we never keep them. They're not good pets. They're just good to look at. Cute little guys. Now, I think today we're going to have some water. Water, one of the easiest things you can paint. We're going to just have some still water, okay? I'm going to go ahead and use some cobalt blue. Beautiful shade, let me tell you, a beautiful shade. It's just a nice, crisp, beautiful, cool-toned blue. I just really enjoy it. We're going to go ahead and use that same brush because I still want some of that purple to be in the ocean. Maybe it's a lake, who knows. So just tap, tap, tap the paint into the bristles of your brush and go ahead and do strokes out from the edge. Now, just remember, the bottom is going to be the darkest, and near the horizon it's going to just get lighter and lighter. So you have to just move on up. Beautiful. I just love how perfectly it goes on. Let's just keep on going. Let's just keep up with those horizontal strokes. So easy, anybody can do it. Sorry if my afro gets in the way. For you viewers at home, I encourage you to grab a few supplies and go along with me at home. It's easy as can be. Anyone can paint. anyone. I get letters in the mail every day of people who never thought they could paint, and they're thanking me because I taught them how. And I just really appreciate it. And I just want you all to know that you can paint, you can do it. So,
You can do anything.
you can do anything. Now let's go ahead and add in some beautiful little mountains now. Oh, and first I'd like to show you how I wash my brush off around here. It's real simple. Just go ahead, dip it in that liquid paint thinner you have. Gotta get it around, and now my favorite thing to do. You just gotta beat the devil out of it. Don't worry if this happens. You can just stick it right back on. And make sure you're careful that there's no furniture around, because I know if I did this at home, my wife would be so mad at me for making a mess. Now let's go ahead and paint those mountains I was talking about. We're gonna mix together some, let's see here. Today we're gonna make some, well, I've mostly done cool tones as of yet, so why not do a warm tone, sort of stand out above the rest. We're gonna start off with some raw umber. And next we're gonna put some crimson, one of my favorite colors. Just add a nice warm red to the mix. And to brighten it up, I'm gonna add a little bit of, well, let's be crazy. Let's be crazy. I'm gonna do some, let's see. Ooh, okay, kind of yellow orange. Wow. It's gonna spice this mountain up for sure. Okay. Now, be sure to mix it up real good, because we don't want some streaks in our mountain. We want a solid colored mountain, okay? Let me tell you. I get letters in the mail every day. People are asking me why they're having problems. And they tell me about the paintings and stuff, and I tell them, you gotta be careful. You gotta mix up that paint real nice. Now let's go ahead and see where we're gonna drop those little mountains in. I think one right about there would be perfect. And this is your imagination. You can do whatever you want. Just go ahead and have fun with it. Ooh, I think it's gonna wiggle around like that, and can't be by himself. We gotta add some little friends here. Nice. Be sure to remember, the top part of the mountain has to be the darkest, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead with the liquid white. It's gonna be easy to just blend it out down. So let's just go ahead and blend that mother. Ooh, looks so nice already. Oh my god. Ooh. Ooh, what nice looking mountains those are turning out to be. I knew that orange yellow really just had a nice kick. Just what we needed. Oh, beautiful. Okay. And don't worry, don't rush this process. Okay? Turn it out so nicely. What we're gonna do is just gonna do some horizontal strokes to just blend those mountains out at the bottom. We want to have a fog around the bottom, like how you see in real life. You know, art imitates life. future. So we gotta put some of this stuff. Oh, how perfect. Now let's keep going. I think we're gonna add some trees to this mix now. I think I'm gonna go in with one of my favorites. If I can find it here. Where are you? Phthalo green. Oh, I found you. Phthalo green. My favorite green. So beautiful. It makes the perfect tree. Let's go. One of my favorite brushes to use for this technique is the fan brush. It's some nice little trees. Just go ahead and get it saturated with paint. Ooh, that's a nice tree. Okay, now let's go ahead and, you know me, I can't have anything not have a friend. Let's go ahead and add a little guy right there. Oh, perfect. That looks so nice. I'm going to add some little guys right along there. Oh, perfect. Just some little trees off in the distance. Now let's go ahead and get a few more shades of green. I'm gonna grab the Viridian. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and add a bush. Let's add a bush. Let's be crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and use the raw umber. And I'm gonna be right back with you guys. I'm gonna just add some more foliage and we'll be right back. So we're back! I added a few more trees, some bushes, and I put some land in there. Now, I wasn't a fan of the purple sky, took a risk, was not a fan. So I went back over with some blue, blended it out, and I like that there's still a hint of purple there. It looks real nice, very colorful. Now, there's one thing I forgot about, is to add highlights to my mountains. So we're gonna go ahead and do that now. We're gonna mix up a shade with some crimson. Oh shit. Never mind, it's not a big deal. We're gonna use some crimson, raw umber, and raw sienna. Now mix that up, and then you're gonna get some white and slowly add some of that shade to tint it. So there's my white, there's the white. So let's go ahead and put that right there. Now we'll add my color green. Now, I'm on my trees you can see I put the highlight right there, so the sun is facing this way. So we're gonna have our highlights right. Not quite light enough, but we can add some more white to that. Just add highlight where you, whoop, there's some. Add highlight where you feel necessary, wherever you like, really. We're gonna add some more white in a minute. Dab it in. You know what I've decided? We're gonna add some clouds. Some big, beautiful, fluffy clouds, okay? So let's go ahead, go back to that white. Let's get some white going. And one thing I like to tell everyone is that thin paint sticks to thick paint. You can't start off with thin paint. You gotta start off with the thick old paint, and then slowly but surely add the thin paint and it will stick. So I'm going to go ahead and use my paint thinner here, which is actually just coconut oil. It smells real nice. Gotta go ahead and beat the devil out of that guy. Just put them wherever you like. Just some nice, beautiful, fluffy clouds. You can sort of blend them into the sky and then add some more white as you go. Right over here, right on top. Ooh, that's looking real nice. I love my little clouds. Little taps. That's what's gonna get you to the perfect texture. Perfect fluffy clouds. Boy, oh boy, do I love some nice big clouds. I tell you. Now, I better get into the meaning of this painting and why I told you earlier that this is a special episode. So, we're going to go back in history a little bit today, talk about the isms. This painting here, it represents one of my favorite isms, transcendentalism. Now, transcendentalists, they love nature. They really did. They love nature almost more than I love nature. And all I do for a living is paint nature photos. So, this painting here that I just finished, it represents transcendentalism because of their love for nature. Now, we're going to cut off for a second, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the other paintings I painted for you guys that represent the other isms. Okay. Painting is neat because if you look closely, you can see that you can hold it any way, and it still doesn't make sense no matter what. Neat, right? represents modernism. The reason why is because they lived in a time of uncertainty. Nobody trusted anybody. The government was like, everybody was against it. Nobody was having a good time then. So instead of painting real life, they decided to define the world in a different way through triangles and squiggles. Now let's keep going. We're going to go on to my Puritanism painting. Okay, now this is my Puritanism painting. As you can see, it's a simple scenery of some mountains, a nice blue sky, little cabin, some fields, a cross to represent Jesus Christ. Now, everybody during that time, all the Puritanisms, they had a few core beliefs: home, family, and God and Jesus. They worked hard for the simple lives that they lived. Now, there were a few things that they didn't like, though. That was free will, no witches, no choice making, and that 666 right there, that stands for the devil. They did not like the devil. Now let's go on to the next painting. Now, see here, this is what I call a Gothic style painting. It represents the Romantic era, and you know, I really enjoy this painting. It was quite a nice thing to paint. I really liked it. Some little ravens here, some nice bright orange hair, some beautiful clouds, a moon, a barren tree. Because, you know, people forget trees don't always have leaves, okay? There's more than one season in the year. Now, let's go a little deeper. Let's dive a little deeper. Now, the reason this represents a romantic painting is because it's kind of dark, got some edgier feel to it. The Romantists, they became very imaginative and decided to be Gothic and stuff and whatever. So that's what these little ravens are for. They were very focused on the individual and their experience, and that's why there's only one lady right here. And that's about all I can say about this painting right here. Now let's move on to the next painting. This painting right here represents deism. Now I'm going to tell you why. The cross right here, it represents God, and then the clock is the world. Now, deists believe that God set the world in place, he created everything, but that he just set it like a clock and let it run its course. And that's why this one right here represents deism. There's not much to it. That's just about it for that one. Now let's go on to the next painting. This right here is our last painting. Now this one, my son did for me. Every time he comes in town, I always ask him to do a nice little painting for me, and this is how it turned out. I just love his style. Got a nice little rose in the center, some black and white in the back. Now, this painting, it here represents modernism. Postmodernism. We already did modernism. I'm crazy. I'm just getting old. So, the reason this represents postmodernism is the black and white that you see here, that's sort of like blurry, represents modernism and the confusion of modernism. And then the rose right here in the center represents the clarity, and people were finally starting to see in color, and that's where postmodernism comes in, right here in that little rose. And that's about all there is to say about that. Have a nice day, y'all. Just kidding. Welcome back. Now, this here is an abstract painting, not a painting I would typically do, but nice anyways. Got some little shapes, some fun little shapes. Now, Pipsqueak, what do you think of my abstract painting? Do you like it? Yes. Thanks, Pipsqueak.